Alright guys, so what I have here is a Superchips flash cal for a Jeep Wrangler JK. Plugs into your OBD2 port. Just like any other calibrator or little OBD2 computer. There's not really much to it. You know, it's really simple. I think I bought this for 80 bucks, 75 bucks, something like that. But what it does is it plugs into your OBD2 port, and you can calibrate certain things on your Jeep. For instance, your speedometer when you put oversized tires on, or pretty much the main reason I bought it is because when I got new wheels and tires, I could not put my TPMS sensors back in, the tire pressure monitoring system, so I constantly had a tire pressure light up here on the dash, which was really annoying to me. One other thing about this that I don't like before I even get started is that the OBD2 down there, it doesn't really hook in all that great. I mean, it's a tight fit, but there's a little bit of slack in there, and sometimes it'll cause the tuner to pretty much lose power in the middle of something, which worries me because you know, what if I was calibrating something major and my Jeep bricked, you know, just killed the computer by updating something in the middle of something. But here's your main menu right here. You've got Diagnostics, Identify Vehicle, Vehicle Functions, and your tuner info and settings. The TPMS, your tire pressure monitoring system, you have to actually download that from Superchips and plug it into your computer and add that stuff, and I guess if they ever have any updates or anything like that, they'll let you know. But Diagnostics, pretty much you can read your codes if you're pulling any. In my case, I'm not pulling any codes. Identify Vehicle, it's initializing. Sometimes it's a little slow. Some things don't go as fast as you'd like. VIN number, etc. That's your engine number. Alright, and vehicle functions. This is where you get into your real settings. Turn the ignition on, do not start the engine. Press OK to continue. There's some other cool things with it. If you have a Jeep Wrangler, you know that you cannot have your fog lights on and your high beams on at the same time, and you can change that. You have your tire size. When you're changing your tire size, you don't want to go by the manufacturer's specs because the diameter or height of the tire can actually change by the size of your wheel. Suppose you put a wider wheel on, it'll kind of make your tire balloon out. And lower it, you want to actually just get a tape measure, measure it from the ground up to the highest point. In my case, my 33 inch tires, with the 10-inch wheels that I have on currently, are technically a 32.5, which I'm a perfectionist and I want everything to be right. Your axle ratio, suppose you change your gears out, you can change that because that will affect your speedometer. Transfer case gears, high and low. Your running lights, you can turn your headlights on or off for whenever you're running. Some Jeeps, if you notice, you can actually just flick this, your blinker, and instead of actually fully engaging it, you can just give it a flick and it'll blink 3 times for lane changing. Horn chirp right here, if you want your vehicle to chirp, you know, make the little beep whenever you lock it or turn on the security or whatever. Press the lock button on your key, whatever. Tire pressure, you know, TPMS off-road tire pressure monitoring system. Engine idle, this is a really neat feature, and it's really good if you have a winch and you're going to be doing a lot of winching. You can actually raise the idle RPM of your engine so you can pull a few more amps with your winch, because if you notice, a winch totally drops your RPMs. It'll dim your lights, do all that good stuff, and it's actually a real strain on your vehicle. So you can crank up your RPMs to, I believe, up to 1600 at idle, so that you don't have to have somebody sitting in here revving it up and all that stuff. It's kind of a process to actually get to it. You saw how long it took to start this up. Not to mention I had to pull it out of my glove box, and I got to do this and have to start it and go through this weird process. So if you're just pulling somebody out, you know, that's stuck in a ditch on the side of the road is totally not even worth using. But if you're doing some heavy winching and doing it to a lot of people, or really winching out something heavy and it's you single-handedly doing it, it'll come in handy. Axle lock enable, fog lights with highs. And then you have your return to stock function. One thing with these is once you own it, it's for your Jeep. It's not for anybody else's. It saves itself. It saves your Jeep in there. But overall, I like it. It fixed all my issues, which I didn't have issues. It just made my modifications that I needed to do, my speedometer, along with my tire pressure monitoring system light. And sometimes I'll play around and I'll switch up my running lights, switch them on or off. If your running lights are always on, there's really no such thing as stealth mode. As soon as you put your vehicle in gear, your headlights come on. It's definitely worth the money, especially if your speedometer bothers you being wrong. And in my case, my biggest bother was the tire pressure monitoring system. Superchips will also send you emails every now and then. For instance, this past Christmas, they sent me a thing where I could upgrade the firmware to this, which you can do now. You can do it if anybody owns this. You can change this to a ProCal so that you can run different tunes on your vehicle, like a high performance tune, a fuel economy tune, etc., towing. But Superchips, sometimes they'll send you an email and they'll say, hey, do it for half price, you know, and as opposed to $150, it'll be $75, which isn't a bad deal. Which I've only heard that the high performance tune really does any good. I heard the fuel economy is nothing, but it changes the shift patterns in your transmission, and it can be useful depending on your situation. But overall, this is Superchips Flash Cal, and I'm using this on a 2008 Jeep Wrangler.